The Association of California State Employees with Disabilities, also known as ACSED, will now open an awards ceremony at this SDAC venue, recognize excellence in advancing the interest of persons with disabilities. SDAC and ACSED share a common goal in addressing systemic barriers that limit the hiring, retention, and promotion of individuals with disabilities. ACSED has been a long-term supporter of SDAC, and I would like to introduce you to the president of ACSED, Scott Richmond. Scott has been the president of ACSED since January of 2020. Prior to that, he served on the board of directors as a member at large. He worked over 20 years for the Department of Healthcare Services in a variety of positions and retired as a staff services manager too in the Medi-Cal program. He now volunteers his time to a number of causes at the state and community level. Scott, welcome to SDAC, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Bobby. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the annual awards program of the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities. Every year, our organization tries to identify and recognize those state departments, departmental level disability advisory committees, and special individuals that have made a positive difference in improving employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities, especially within the California State Civil Service. Today, we will be giving out 9 separate awards, and we hope that by the end of today's program, you will, as we were, feel very heartened that there are a number of great people out there doing a lot of great things on a regular basis to try to create meaningful employment opportunities for people with disabilities throughout our state. Prior to proceeding further, I know we have a few dignitaries in the audience today, and due to scheduling, I know that sometimes the person who you think might be waiting is not the actual person, but a designee. But I would like to name some people that indicated that if their schedules will permit, they'd like to be a part of today's festivities. The first individual that I'd try to recognize is William Brown, the Deputy Secretary of the State Governmental Operations Agency. William, if you're in the audience, could you utilize your hand raising feature on Zoom and so that our facilitator can spotlight you?
Done.
Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. The next individual, and I'm not sure she's available, but that would be Amanda Ray, the Commissioner of the California, and I believe she may have a designee. The next individual is Vernon Steiner, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the State Compensation Insurance Fund. Vern, if you would raise your virtual hand, please. Thank you. The next individual is Joe Xavier, the Director of the California Department of Rehabilitation. Joe?
Hi, Scott. There, can you hear me?
Sure can. Thank you very much. And finally, Aaron Carruthers, the Executive Director of the State Council on Developmental Disabilities.
Hi, Scott. This is Aaron. It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks so much, Aaron. Without further ado, then, I'd like to turn the program over to our awards chair. His name is Dan Clark, and he's worked extremely hard for several months to try to put this program together. Dan, I appreciate all the work that you've done, and as my friend Bobby would say, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for everybody for being here. Again, my name is Dan Clark. I'm the awards chair for ACSED. And I'd first like to start off and say that, it takes the community to make a difference. And in this case, it's going to be the departments, the disability advisory committees, and individuals that are making a difference here in California for state employees with disabilities. To recognize all, we have actually two types of awards. We have an organizational awards. We have 3 of them, and we have the DAC of the Year awards. And with respect to the organizational awards, we have the first one we have is the Sustained Achievement Award, which is given to departments whose sustained achievement has led to receiving the ACES awards for the last 3 of the 4 consecutive years. This year, however, we do not have a recipient for this award. Well, we do have the 2 other awards, the ACES and the DAC of the Year. The ACES award is basically the Employer of the Year award, recognizes departmental achievements in hiring, retention, and promotion of individuals with disabilities. It's a quantitative review based on reports from CalHR. The ACES awards will be presented to 1 large, 1 medium, and 1 small department. Ralph Black, who will provide more details of this process in his presentation. Now we have the DAC of the Year award. This is more of a qualitative review of the DAC nominations that recognizes the work and activities of the individual DAC committees within state service and the different agencies. And now, initially, due to the disruption of COVID and the pandemic, we were really questioning whether we should really put this out this year. However, we decided that it would be a good thing to do, and we're happy we did, because we did get a number of recipients. But what we found really basically is that given disruption in employment, we found that people learned to work remotely. I think we all learned a lot about Zoom and programs like Zoom to help us connect and stay connected with folks. And as a result of it, a number of the DACs, as a result, were able to move ahead and keep on task, and that was great. I have to say one of the positive, and maybe other people will comment on this, but one of the positive but a positive unintended consequence of the use of Zoom and so forth, it has now allowed a lot of other individuals to participate. A lot of times in the past, organizations that had a statewide presence here in California, in Sacramento, they would be more brick and mortar. And trying to get up to meetings and so forth were difficult. I think the onset of Zoom and are now, I think it's going to be a mainstay going forward of Zoom will allow a lot more to participate. So that's great. Now, each year we send out nominations requests to the directors of each state agency asking if they would like to submit a DAC nominations packet for consideration. The nominations packets ask specific and open-ended questions related to how they're operating, the types of issues they're dealing with, and the activities that they're involved with. So they come back to us, and we have a panel of 5 members made up of SDAC and ACSED members. None of the members on the review committee are tied to departments submitting nominations this year. So we keep it separate. We also then have 2 other, but this year 3 other awards. We're going to have the Ralph Black Public Service Award, the Carolyn Bronkowski Dedicated Service Award, and this year a Special Recognition Award. I would like to thank everybody that's participated in it. I want to thank the team here at ACSED and so forth that helped me put this together, as well as the SDACs and members that are participating. I would like to now introduce you to Catherine Campisi, who will highlight some of this year's DAC's year's observations and present on 2 DAC of the Year Achievement Awards. Catherine, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be with you. And we welcome everyone who's able to join us. As Dan said, we have some advantages with Zoom and can have people who otherwise wouldn't be with us today. So today we're going to present 3 awards for outstanding disability advisory committees. I think we're all aware that the state law requires departments to have an advisory committee, but they are varied in what they do and the activities they undertake. So in its effort to spread excellence and provide models for other departments to try to emulate, ACSED gives out the DAC awards annually to try to highlight the best practices. Today we'll be presenting 2 DAC Achievement Awards, and my colleague Bobby Dutta will be presenting the DAC of the Year Award. Before we present the awards, I wanted to share with you a few of the exemplary practices of the selected DACs. First of all, they all had an internet presence regarding their Disability Advisory Committee and disability resources. They all do training on disability-specific subjects, and those might include computer accessibility, universal access document production, disability-specific training. They all undertook robust 30th ADA anniversary celebrations and other activities that they have done on individual bases. Were providing resource handouts very professionally and well done on COVID impact on persons with disabilities and on issues to be aware of when working from home with deaf and hard of hearing individuals. One department created a video on reasonable accommodation and is planning in the next year to produce a video on issues related to persons with non-apparent disabilities. A department conducted a survey of all staff on disability issues, and also they all have provided resources, including one which developed a curated list of disability resources, which also I thought was very creative and suggested that while people were home and had some free time, that they view the documentary, award-winning documentary Crip Camp, so which it provides a history of the disability rights movement. So without further ado, I would like to present the first 2 Disability Advisory Committee Achievement Awards. The first one goes to the Department of Justice, and I believe we have 2 representatives today who are going to be receiving that award for DOJ. They are Jonathan Eisenberg, our Deputy Attorney General 5, and Joseph Regasso, who's also DAG 5. Are you here, Jonathan and Joseph? I saw one of them.
Yes, this is Joseph. Hi.
Great. Before I turn it over to you, I just wanted to let you know that we do have a plaque for you, and we will be getting that to you personally in the near future. So thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would. Thank you. On behalf of the members of DIAC, I wanted to thank ACSED for this award, and also would like to acknowledge the great work and contributions made by ACSED in promoting the rights of state employees with disabilities. Our Disability Employees Advisory Committee, which we call DIAC, was created in part to recognize the contributions made by persons with disabilities and the value that they bring to the workplace. I am blessed with very committed, hardworking members who volunteer their time for our committee. And our focus has been to examine the various barriers that may exist, which limit the hiring and the retention and the promotion of persons with disabilities in the workforce. One of our goals last year was to create an instructional video on reasonable accommodation, which we thought would better inform DOJ employees about the reasonable accommodation process and also convey the message that reasonable accommodation is essential for removing barriers that prevent well-qualified persons from applying or performing jobs. We first created a survey to find out what the issues were, and then we put together this video project, which was a collaborative effort using various divisions of DOJ. Our video scenes were filmed over the summer using several employees who volunteered their time graciously during the pandemic. And we also were able to recruit our boss, Attorney General Becerra, to deliver an introduction for the video. His participation, we think, sends a strong message that DOJ supports diversity and inclusion in the workplace, as well as the laws protecting persons with disabilities. I want to just acknowledge some people who really volunteered their time during the pandemic and really helped put this together. Those persons are Joy Aria, John Kisita, Peter Meshot, Aaron Eisenberg, Kendra McBeam, Jose Diaz, and Marcus Milani. There are others that I forgot to mention, but this was a group project. And again, we thank you for this award, and thank ACSED for all your work that you've done on behalf of persons with disabilities in the workplace.
Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Amanda Ray, or her representative from the California Highway Patrol, which is the other agency receiving the DAC Achievement Award. Can whoever is here for CHP please come on screen for a couple-minute comment? Thank you.
So this is Jim Epperson. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Excellent. So first of all, thank you so much for this award. And I really want to say that over the years, the work that the association has done is so integral and so important to the overall mission of not just the Department of the California Highway Patrol, but the state in general. And the work you've done is remarkable, especially compared to programs across the country. My hat is off to the association and the impact that you've had in this particular area. Nothing of this magnitude happens without an involvement of the entire team, and it really starts from the top down. So, Commissioner Stanley was a huge supporter of this program, as is Commissioner Ray. And they've always made the point of setting the example and pushing the information down so that we get a collective focus on this particular thing. And Sean Coyle and his team have been fantastic in developing and bringing that message forward to the entire department. And Rudy and his team here, we have all the different OPIs and headquarters here, including Assistant Commissioner Field, to coordinate and get messages out across the state to make sure that this program has always stayed a priority. And with all the things we do, I've always found it heartening that our team has always made sure that this is a message in support of these programs that has always been the forefront, no matter what we do, even in these trying times that we're having now, that this has still been a priority for them, that they've still always put in the effort, regardless of all the other things that come up and all the other things that we require them to do. And I really think it's the continual focus and really the team effort that has made us successful over the years with the support of the association, of course. So thank you very much for that. And I can't thank my team enough.
Thank you so much. And as we said, we'll be getting plaques to all of you. Thank you very much. And it's now my pleasure to turn the program over to Bobby Dutta, who is co-chair of the State Disability Advisory Committee and a member of the ACSED board. So Bobby, in your words, the floor is yours.
Bobby, you are on mute.
Thank you, Catherine, and thanks, Susan, for letting me know that I'm on mute. And Catherine, I don't mind that you use my words, so thanks. I feel honored. Each year, ACSED presents DAC of the Year Award to a Disability Advisory Committee that has made impactful contributions to the advancement of quality of life for people with disabilities within their department. This year, the DAC of the Year Award goes to CalPERS. Congratulations, CalPERS. And please join me in welcoming CalPERS DAC Chair, my friend, Van Nguyen. Van, please unmute your mic and say a few words to the audience if you wish, and the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Bobby, for the introduction. My name is Van Nguyen, and I am the 2020 CalPERS DAC Chair, and I am honored to accept the 2020 DAC of the Year Award from the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities and State Disability Advisory Committee on behalf of CalPERS. CalPERS DAC started in 2020 with the mission to create an open forum for CalPERS team members to start a dialogue about disability issues and create an inclusive environment to support each other so we can thrive at work, at home, and in our communities. As DAC chair, I also participated in the Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Council, where our team contributed to a business initiative related to accessibility gaps. Our DAC officer team collaborated to identify a reasonable accommodation accessibility gap related to learning disabilities, and we shared a solution that could assist not only CalPERS employees, but potentially all state employees if this solution were fully adopted by the state. I would like to give a special recognition for our first Chief Diversity Officer, Marlene Timberlake Damo, who was chair of this advisory council, for her support and for her engagement with us throughout the year. Day to day, the CalPERS Diversity Outreach Program and EEO team provided ongoing support and advice. They guided our efforts to engage our members and create a sustainable infrastructure so that future CalPERS DAC officers can lead with their vision to improve disability awareness. Our public affairs team also collaborated with us all year to promote our meetings and publish articles regarding various disability topics to engage our team members who are not members. We also saw active engagement from our membership, which included consistent attendance to our meetings, as well as volunteers working with us closely to help us plan and execute our meetings. The things our volunteers worked with us had to do with agenda development. They helped us with publishing some of our announcements. They were really important for our success this year. And as a result, our membership more than doubled over the last year, from about 100 members in 2019 to 209 members in 2020, with deeper engagement than previous years. This was possible due to our very close collaboration with the CalPERS Diversity and Inclusion Group. We partnered with them to promote diversity awareness and inclusion with disability topics, as well as other topics related to personal identity, such as race and gender identity. We thank our members for dedicating their time and passion in educating themselves about these topics in this difficult year that posed a myriad of challenges. Together, we worked to address the difficulties of 2020, and in doing so, shared our compassion with our agency and with each other. Last but not least, I would like to share this speech with the 2020 officers that made this year a success. They are from the CalPERS Disability Advisory Committee: Lisa Coons, Kate Lavernier, and Cynthia Daglia. And from the CalPERS Diversity and Inclusion Group, Juliette Locke, Jessica Fifield, Hiroka Akuyama, and Jeanette Wallace. I would like to share the floor with my fellow officers for a moment if anyone would like to make any comments.
Hello. My name is Cynthia Dahlia, and I'm the CalPERS Disability Advisory Committee Treasurer. I just want to thank the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities and the State Disability Advisory Committee. It truly is an honor to accept this award, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. All right. I also want to give special recognition for our advisors that assisted us day to day and shared our challenges and gave us advice and just made all of this possible. They are Isha Singh, Geeta Lalian, and Alex Shapishnikov. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you again for the DAC of the Year Award, and CalPERS hopes to continue leading disability, diversity, and inclusion efforts in 2021.
Thank you so much, Fan. And again, CalPERS, congratulations. Our next award presenter is Ralph Black with ACSED. Ralph has worked in the state service for over 30 years as an attorney, and now he's retired. Ralph is a long-term disability advocate, and he's been involved in ACSED for many years in various roles, including secretary, president, and currently the treasurer. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Ralph Black. Ralph, welcome to SDAC, and the floor is yours.
Okay, I hope you can all hear me.
We can.
So, as Bobby said, I'm the treasurer of ACSED, but I also am the guy who's charged with making the recommendations about who should win the ACES awards. these ACES awards, this category of awards were one of the first ones that we started back in 2008. It was established under the leadership of Les Tree Sinclair, who was a longtime disability advocate and was the president of ACSED at that time. He's since passed away, but as part of his legacy, we continue to provide these awards. And basically the concept behind the ACES awards is that there are laws that require departments to make efforts to hire people with disabilities, and we in ACSED advocate for enforcement of those laws and try to push departments to follow them. But we want to go beyond that and recognize good behavior among departments that do an excellent job in hiring people with disabilities. So these ACES awards, or Employer of the Year awards, are given out in 3 categories: for small departments with up to 500 employees, medium-sized departments of 500 to 3,500, and large departments who are larger than that. So every year when we give out these awards, people usually have questions about exactly how we go about determining the award winners. And let me say, without going into the weeds too much, that this is basically sort of like the governor does with keeping track of COVID. It's all done by the numbers. And what we do initially is we look to see which departments have met or exceeded the disability hiring parity goal, which is 16.6%. And those departments that have achieved that level of representation in their workforce are eligible to compete. We then look at their disability representation rate over a 3-year period so that we adjust for any fluctuations that might occur. And then beyond the disability representation rate, we look at the percentage of people who've been hired by that department in the current year who are people with disabilities, the percentage of promotions that go to people with disabilities, and to what extent the department has used the LEAP hiring program. Now, I can't tell you any more about the details of how this works. We're very concerned about hacking by the Russians, so we keep everything top secret. But I can tell you that it's time to award the Employer of the Year for a large department. And I'm going to do that in a minute, but I want to tell you, just as a little bit of background, that the competition in a category for large employers was very fierce this year. The department that is going to win this award beat out their nearest competitor by less than 0.1% on our rating scale. So those of you who are with large departments, if you want to win this award next year, maybe just hire a few more people with disabilities or promote a few more, and you might be the winner next time. But for this year, the winner of the Employer of the Year award for large departments is the State Compensation Insurance Fund. And it's my understanding that we have President of SCIF, Vernon Steiner, who's here to accept the award. Are you with us, Mr. Steiner?
I am, thank you. It's an honor to accept the award on behalf of all of our employees. You know, we are an organization that's largely focused on helping people with injuries and disabilities get back to work. So it is absolutely appropriate that we follow that own philosophy within our organization. We have a disability advisory committee that works constantly throughout the year at raising the level of awareness at the ways that individuals with disabilities are constantly contributing to our organization. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our chair for the last 3 years, Kathy Ornelas. She's actually retiring this year and is passing the chairpersonship on. but her contributions have been critical to the long-term success we've had, the increasing, I think, inclusivity that is part of our culture throughout the organization. At State Fund, we believe that culture is really the engine that drives organizations, and as part in state service, we exist to serve, and we particularly exist to serve both employers in the state and their employees that have been hurt in the course of work. And that mission of service really has to resonate throughout the organization, and it resonates so much more strongly when we value each and every one of our employees and create an environment where they understand how they're valued. And our Disability Advisory Committee has absolutely contributed tremendously to that over the past several years. And we're very proud of the work they've done. Today, we have more than 26%. Sounds like we're only fractions of a percentage above some other close contenders, which is wonderful to hear. Over 26% of our employees are individuals with disabilities, and State Fund is stronger for their contributions. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, President Steiner, and congratulations on your award. And now I'm going to turn this over to our longtime ACSED Vice President, Lisa Brown, who will present the remaining Employer of the Year awards.
Hello, this is Lisa Brown. Today I'm going to be presenting the 2020 ACES Employer of the Year Award for a medium-sized and small-sized department. As Dan mentioned earlier, back in 2015, we established the Sustained Achievement Award, and this 2020 ACES Department of the Year Award was a recipient of that award and had to sit out for a few years to give other departments a chance to earn the award. Well, this year, this department is now eligible to receive the ACES Employer of the Year for a medium-sized department. I would like to present the 2020 ACES Employer of the Year Award to the Department of Rehabilitation. They are commonly hiring persons with disabilities and always have displayed excellent work. Now I would like to introduce Joe Xavier to accept this award today.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I can be heard. And thank you very much for the introduction. I certainly want to start by acknowledging ACSED for your ongoing work and commitment to the employment with people with disabilities. The State Disability Advisory Committee and the Departmental Advisory Committees, the work you do is very integral for making all of this happen. I certainly want to also take a minute and just recognize that this week we celebrated Martin Luther King, and that on Saturday we are celebrating Ed Roberts. And Ed Roberts is a former director of the Department of Rehabilitation and otherwise known as the father of independent living. And I think that's just a key commemoration in his honor is having these awards, because he very much believed in people with disabilities being independent and going to work. So DOR, part of the rehabilitation team that is on the call, thank you. This award cannot be accomplished, cannot be possible because or without the work that you do. So we are honored, we're humbled to receive this award. And I guess the question that you should be saying is, what did we do as a department to get to this point? So I just want to take a minute and acknowledge a couple of the things that we do that gets us to this point. It really starts with the belief and the talent of potential in individuals with disabilities. We truly believe that across our organization. And we believe that individuals with disabilities bring a rich diversity and a lived experience that is both strengthening the work that we do, informing the work that we do, and ensuring that the services that we deliver reflect those perspectives. People with disabilities, in order to feel like they can belong in the workplace, need to see themselves in the workplace. So we are very proud of the fact that both our executive teams, our senior leadership teams, and our mid-level managers all have individuals with disabilities that are represented. These are individuals with visible disabilities, individuals with hidden disabilities. As an example, 6 of our 14-member executive team are such individuals. So one of the things that I would also add here is that the way that we look at reasonable accommodations in this department, it's not an add-on, it's not nice to have. We look at reasonable accommodations in this department as providing a support that an individual needs to maximize their talent and potential. And we treat that and we view that in the same way for different reasons, but in the same way that we do providing any employee with a desk, with a telephone, and frankly, access to restrooms. We treat accommodations, it's simply that basic. Somebody needs it to be effective and to maximize their talent and their contributions to the organization. I also want to acknowledge the work of our Disability Advisory Committee for the work that they do, continue to advocate for both the hiring, the retention, and the promotion of individuals with disabilities in our workplace. And finally, I will say that we're proud to receive this award. We continue to find ways to improve not just the opportunity within our organization, but certainly across the organization. So thank you to ACSED. Thank you to everybody who contributes to the work that ACSED does. Organizations like ACSED rely on membership to drive the work they do. And so those that have participated in that just cannot acknowledge enough the contributions and the differences that you're making. And with that, I'll start my comments. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joe, and to your department. Thank you. Next, I'm going to be presenting the ACES 2020 ACES Employer of the Year to a small-sized department. This award goes to the State Council on Developmental Disabilities. Here to accept the award is Aaron Carithers, Executive Director to the State Council of Developmental Disabilities.
Lisa, thank you so much. It is an honor. It's wonderful to be here and really appreciate this acknowledgement. The State Council on Developmental Disabilities is a small department. We're 70 employees. That we know some of you have units that are that's smaller than many units you have in your departments. So we're small and we're mighty, but my gratitude first goes to ACSED, because ACSED, with Lisa, your leadership, Scott, your leadership, Ralph, your leadership, Catherine, your leadership has been improving the experience for employees with disabilities across state departments for decades. This award ceremony is part of that process. And you know what? It matters. State departments and department directors care. It means a lot. And it encourages other departments to do better. ACSED, you have smart metrics that you use to determine these awards. It's really the best that you can use to get a look inside what's happening inside a department as it relates to employees with disabilities and their experiences for just overall rates, self-reported rates, promotion rates, LEAP rates, but and so you use smart tools of what's available to you to make these decisions. So thank you for that. I'll say that beyond those numbers and beyond those metrics, there's human experience. And even with this award, I accept it knowing there's always more that we can do. And the State Council on Developmental Disabilities, even though it has disability as the core of its mission, there's always more we can do to make sure the experience of employees with disabilities is better. This past year has made us all look at how do microaggressions and overt aggressions and bias manifest in our society, but also as leaders, we look at how it manifests in our workplace. And I've noticed, I'll say this too, and I don't say it with any shame. I think that the State Council could be a more welcoming place where people with employees with disabilities are talking about that. Sure, if you're a person with a developmental disability, if you're a person with a physical disability, if you're a person with a sensory disability, you're going to feel welcome in the workplace. But what about a mental health disability? There's stigma there, and am I doing enough to create an environment for employees with all types of disabilities to be comfortable to succeed in the workplace? So that's just one little slice of how I accept this award today with deep gratitude, with deep respect and honor for the role ACSED has played, but also a deep appreciation of the work that we still have to do. So thank you, ACSED. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much, Aaron, and congratulations to you and your department. Thank you all. I'm going to now reintroduce Dan Clark. You have the floor.
Thank you, Lisa. That concludes the section of organizational awards that we want to present, and I want to congratulate all the awardees there that have received it. I think you're well earned, and thanks. Now we're getting to individual awards. I would like to present the first individual award, which is the Carolyn Bronkowski Dedicated Service Award. This award is given to individuals who have made an especially noteworthy contribution of time and energy over a period of years to support the activities and the mission of ACSED. This year's recipient is Richard Marks. I met Richard Marks back in 2015 through a longtime friend and career placement counselor at Sac State's computer science section. I got to know Richard and learned about his extensive background in custom website design and development as an independent contractor, which he still is. Aside from his technical expertise, I also I learned about his ability to listen, understand issues, and really understand issues and come back quickly with solutions and meeting the needs of their customers and so forth. He does a great job with that. So as I got to know him, and I was on the board, here working on various issues, we came across a couple of small technical issues, and I had asked Richard if he would help us with these technical issues, and he graciously fixed them in quick order. I mean, I was really impressed with that, and that was really nice. But as we began in 2018 to plan for our training seminar, we at ACSED realized that we needed to modernize our approach to registration, and we needed to develop an online system. So we went to the market and looked at what's out online right now. And there's a number of programs, but what we found is that these programs are not accessible. They didn't meet the needs, particularly for Braille screening, a screening device for people with visual impairments. So this became an issue. So Richard stepped in and developed a system for us, which we were very grateful for. Well, of course, learning about our setbacks there, we realized that we at ACSED need to move into the technology age here at ACSED. And so we need to make ours fully accessible and also develop our program so we can accept applications and make payment and so forth, moving ahead online, like everybody else is doing in this world. And to that extent, Richard has been helping us do that. And we're soon to have a system up and running here in the near future. But it's all because of Richard here and the work that he does for us. And he does it all pro bono. He's done this for us without any repayment. And that goes noteworthy to him because, he is an independent contractor and he does work for others. So we really appreciate that. So Richard, on behalf of ACSED and personally myself, I want to recognize you for the work you do and present the Carolyn Bronkowski Dedicated Service Award to you. Thank you. So thank you. And I got a gift certificate for you that comes with this award, and I'll be dropping by to see you. All right. Thank you. All right. So now I'd like to hand it back off to Ralph for the Ralph Black Public Service Award.
All right, thank you, Dan. This Ralph Black again, and as Dan said, I'm pleased to present our Public Service Award. This award was established back in 2011, and I'm proud to say that I was the first recipient of the award when I retired. We've had several other deserving recipients over the years, Linda Bardis, Lestrie Sinclair, Richard DeVilder, Lori Hyrep, Robert Cifuentes, and Rachel Stewart. And what we do is we have a perpetual plaque that lists the names of all of these individuals, and then each new person who wins the award gets a certificate that they're able to keep. Mm-hmm. This award is given to a person with a disability who meets 3 criteria. They have to have had a career dedicated to excellence in public service, have made a significant contribution to disability rights, especially in the area of employment, and have made a sustained commitment of leadership and time beyond their work obligations, a volunteer commitment. Now, I'm pleased to announce at this time that the Ralph Black Public Service Award for 2020 is going to longtime disability advocate and also a longtime friend and colleague of mine, Brenda Primo. For those that don't know Brenda, I'll give you a little bit of background about her before I turn the floor over her to speak to you. I first met Brenda, well, it's been a few years ago when I was a freshman in college at Long Beach State, and she was the assistant director of what in those days we called the Handicapped Students Office. And she got me involved in disability rights issues. And together with other students from around the state, Brenda and I worked on our first big advocacy project, which was to secure funding for programs for students with disabilities at all of the public colleges and universities in California, which we did succeed in doing. After graduating from Long Beach State and getting her master's degree, Brenda went on to become the executive director of the Dale McIntosh Center, which is the independent living center in Orange County, where she served for about 15 years. She was active in volunteer activities with the California Foundation for Independent Living Centers and with Californians for Disability Rights. Later in 1986, she was appointed by President Reagan to become a member of the National Council on Disability. And in that capacity, she made one of her biggest contributions, which was to be involved in drafting of legislation, which was eventually enacted as the Americans with Disabilities Act. Then in 1991, Brenda came to the Department of Rehabilitation as an assistant director. And by 1994, she moved her way up, and Governor Wilson appointed her as the director of the Department of Rehab, where she served for several years. After leaving state government, Brenda went full circle back to the world of higher education and became the founding director of the Center on Disability Issues in the Health Professions at Western University of Health Sciences. And in that capacity, She's helped a number of students with disabilities over the years who were seeking to become doctors or move into other highly technical medical fields, and help them get the accommodations they need to get through school and to prepare for employment. Brenda retired after this long and illustrious career devoted to disability rights, and particularly to helping people get educated and get ready for employment. So it's now time for us to let Brenda say a few words. Unfortunately, because of some technical difficulties, it wasn't possible for Brenda to be able to call in to our Zoom meeting. So we've got her on a speakerphone, and I'm going to set it up, and hopefully you'll be able to hear her comments. Give me just a minute to do that, and then I will turn it over to Brenda. All right, I think we're ready to give this a try. But before you start, Brenda, I wanted to let you know that we do have a number of your old colleagues who have joined us. It's my understanding, at least, that we have Megan Juring and Rich Baquin, Curtis Richards, and Sarah Steenhausen with us today to help you receive this award. So go ahead, Brenda.
Well, if you got Rich on, I got to be good because he knows the truth. I want to thank you guys for this. It's a very special award because I know other people and other awards that have been amazing. I still am a troublemaker, if that's the question that Rich in particular has, and make my changes in the world. Wherever I am, it changes. I want to say that I'm impressed, looking back over the time that we worked on the Americans with Disabilities Act, seeing the good that has come, but also wondering about the future, which is a whole lot about technology. I remember having things printed up that were 100 pages because they had to be 18 points. And now we just open up our little laptop and we do it. And that has to do with the advocacy around ADA. And it also has to do with the ability of people to use the technology that's out there. I want to thank you for this award and tell you that I've always followed rehab. I will always follow rehab. It was my home. And I want to thank you a lot for this award.
All right. Well, thank you, Brenda, and congratulations again on your award. I do want to tell you that in addition to getting the certificate, there's a small cash award that goes along with this award. So we'll be sending those to you after the ceremonies. And now I'm going to turn it back to our esteemed ACSED President, Scott Richmond, who will present our last award.
Thank you very much, Ralph, and congratulations to Brenda as well as all the other award winners. Every now and then, the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities feels the need to offer a special recognition award. And I'm really tickled today to have the privilege of being allowed the opportunity to do that. If you just review the resume and credentials of the person I'm about to introduce, you would probably agree that he deserves this award just on those merits alone. But as you will soon see, there is so much more than this to this individual than appears on a list of professional accomplishments. By way of summary, he's been an author, lecturer, educator, trainer, consultant, equal opportunity manager, and civil rights officer. He has designed, developed, implemented, and managed highly specialized programs as a manager for the State Personnel Board, a senior manager for the State Department of Consumer Affairs, as the Equal Employment Opportunity Officer for both the Departments of Transportation and Department of Community and Housing Development. And he ended his career as the civil rights officer for my former department, the Department of Health Services. He is taught in the areas of economics, sociology, and ethnic studies at both the University of California, Berkeley and the University of California, Davis. And in his spare time, he's found time to serve as a member of the California Governor's Committee on Employment of Disabled Persons, as well as the State Council on Developmental Disabilities. But now I'd like to turn to a more personal side of this individual. Every once in a while, we have the privilege of encountering an individual who possesses truly special talents and qualities. The person I'm about to introduce is one of those rare people. I knew him by reputation long before I ever met him in person. Just about a quarter century ago, I had the pleasure of working with him for the very first time. Having had that opportunity, I soon discovered that his reputation was highly understated, both in terms of his character and his commitment to equal employment opportunity and civil rights. The person I had read and heard about was truly dedicated to advancing the interests of persons in legally protected categories. The individual I came to know, however, believed that these principles should be applied much more universally. In both belief and practice, he strives to uphold the dignity, humanity, and equality of all persons and endeavors to work to improve their opportunities in every aspect of their lives. He's been an active advocate in the areas of civil rights for over 40 years. In fact, he was one of the founding members of the Asian Pacific State Employee Association, and he's been a longtime member of our association. I think his most outstanding attribute, though, is his ability to bring both people and organizations to work toward the achievement of common goals. He is especially effective at bringing a consensus between and among individuals and organizations that often don't see eye to eye with respect to their aims, strategies, or tactics. For these reasons and many more, it is my honor and privilege to present this year's Special Ally and Partner in Advocacy Award to Dean Land. Dean, as I present you your virtual plaque, I'd like to give you the opportunity to say a few words.
Scott, that was so generous. It was too generous. First of all, I have to apologize. I understand that I am in purple. I have a purple mustache and purple hair. So I do apologize for my background. I have, perhaps I have had some achievements, but IT and fixing the backgrounds is not one of them. And I've been trying to achieve this background, and I don't know how I got this. So I do apologize for that. I also want to mitigate any concern about my appearance and share that I am recovering from Bell's palsy. So I thank you in advance for your understanding and for your patience. First of all, I do want to accept this honor on behalf of the previous Asian Pacific State Employee Association's ACSED presidents who understood the power of collaboration and collaboration with ACSED. And toward that end, I do want to acknowledge the current president of ACSED, Stevenson Loveson, and the current ACSED board who have supported partnering with ACSED with a number of activities this year. As a community activist, we each face big challenges of how to fulfill our organization's mission and vision. And when I looked at my modest toolkit a while back ago, I figured out what was better than 1, 2. And so that's why I've had the good thought in terms of partnering with ACSED. And we have partnered for decades. I remember back in the 80s, ACSED and APSE, well, ACSED was known as Disabled in State Service then. We partnered in terms of the California Coalition of Minorities, Women, and Persons with Disabilities, way back when in the 80s. And recently, we have partnered in terms of testifying at the state legislature on civil rights issues and the status of civil rights in state service. This year, ACSED and APSE have partnered in terms of a monthly career development program and also in terms of a webinar on Prop 16. So I wanted to also share my fondest memories in terms of working with the ACSED presidents, not only Scott Richmond, but Dan Clark, Catherine Campisi, Lisa Brown, Lori Hyrup, Jake Johnson, Ralph Black, Nora Brusuelos, Mauricio Del Castillo. It's really been a privilege in terms of working with those presidents. And later on, I can share with you some funny stories. But in summary, I've been very proud. I've been a proud dues-paying member of ACSED for 4 decades. And I'm pleased that Scott Richmond recently joined some other ACSED members in joining APSE. So if you're not a member of ACSED or APSE, please join. And that concludes my commercial message. And in conclusion, I wanted to thank ACSED for this fabulous award. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank you, Dean. Thank you for all your work. And personally, I'd like to thank you for your help and friendship over the years. That brings us to the end of the formal awards presentation of our program today. At this juncture, I would like to turn the program back over to Bobby Dutta, the co-chair of the State Disability Advisory Council, for some closing remarks. Bobby?
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, everyone who was in attendance today. We had a wonderful event, and the award show was really the icing on the cake. So well done, ACSED, and thanks for attending. Everyone else is welcome to stay. ACSED will be holding their annual membership meeting right after this, and SDAC members are welcome to attend. If you wish to attend ACSED meeting, just stay on this same channel. And thank you again for attending SDAC meeting and celebrating ACSED's DAC Award.